Okay, well, Petco Park, here we are. Game 124 of the. I'll move this over, and I can even. Can I zoom this in even more? Here you go. Game 124, Tenacious Earls, 2008 Phillies Super Advanced Replay. It's Philadelphia at Hen Scratch University. No, San Diego, Petco Park. Night game, August 17th. Real life, Phillies win 2-1. Forgot to write that down. We'll zoom her out a little bit here, see if I can help you guys see some of the game here, but also get as much in the picture as I can. So how is everybody doing? How is everybody doing? How should I say that? Everything's okay here. We'll see how this game goes. As if you watched my update video, I was somewhat hesitant to roll this game on YouTube, but I guess what's the word? Lamented? I don't know if relented. Lamenting is something completely different. Vocabulary, as one of my a saying that I'm coming to like here recently is vocabulary is your friend. So whether or not I'm good at using it is it remains to be seen. But I already failed with the word lament. Anyway, could be better than foment or fragment. But here is San Diego. This is a night game, so these are the numbers in particular. If it's 1 to 8, it's good. 9 to 19, average. 20, bad. So what this is weather effects. We use weather effects here in the super advanced Stratomatic replay. And so we will roll. And a 19, so boy, just about any other park, and this would be bad, but because it's San Diego, it's going to be an average night, which still is pretty bad. It means you're going to have a 5% chance for a single on a ballpark single. And for home runs, the lefties are only going to get a 5% chance of those going out, while the righties, they'll get 20%. So the series is tied at 1. Couple of low-scoring games for the most part. The Phillies won Game 1 by a score of 3-0. They got Greg Maddux. It was a triple by Jeff Jenkins, scored Pat Burrell, and then an RBI ground out by Eric Bruntlett got Jenkins home. Those were runs back to back. That was made it 2-0 in the second inning, and then in the third, Chase Utley went out for the third run, took her yard, and a combination of Moyer, Durbin, Romero, and Madsen helped pitch the shutout there for the Phillies. Then in Game 2, took 11 innings, but the Padres did eventually overcome the Phillies 3-2. They got a run in the bottom of the 11th after Phillies were able to get 2 outs. Madsen, so that means Madsen will not pitch in this game, but he got 2 on and 2 out, and he decided, well, actually, let's see, 1 on and 2 out. There's a runner at first, Headley. He stole second, so Madsen decided to intentionally walk Todd Hundley with 2 outs to bring up Sean Kazmar, and Kazmar, the shortstop, doubled home Headley for the winning run. So trying to play some odds didn't work out, and that was that for the Phils. But here we are with this game, Game 3. Cole Hamels pitching for the Phillies. Chow Sun Beck is on the mound for the Padres, and I'm probably destroying his name, but I guess I wouldn't be a red-blooded American, quote unquote, if I wasn't destroying people's names left and right. So anyway, let's see. What do we got? And that's nothing against Americans. I'm one of them, but I my I don't know. I don't think a name is considered vocabulary, but maybe it is. Vernacular. So, Phillies lineup here. Let's get rolling. Jimmy Rollins at short. Bats first. Then Jason Worth. Chase Utley. Ryan Howard. Pat the Bat Burrell will bat fifth. He'll be in left. Shane Victorino in center. At third base, the left-handed hitter Greg Dobbs. Really likes right-handers. Not so good against lefties. Carlos Ruiz is behind Dish tonight, and on the mound will be Cole Hamels, batting ninth. A game where we have two pitchers cards that are not on the 1 or 2. Hamels has a number 3 hitting card, pitcher's hitting card. Chow Sung Beck has a pitcher's hitting card number 6, which I think he has normal power in it. So, you never know. So Jimmy Rollins is going to start the game off here against Beck. And it's going to be a walk to start. So Rollins will reach on balls, and that will get us underway here. The Padres have Luke Carlin behind the plate, their backup catcher. He's a +1 arm. Beck is a -1 arm, so that equals them out. So you subtract 2 from the good lead number, which is 19. It would be a 1 to 17 chance if you can get a good lead. Now you would take a neutral and subtract 4 from the second number if he doesn't get a good lead. So that would be a 50% chance, 1 to 10. Rollins, what we're going to do is we're going to, we will try to steal with Rollins. I thought maybe Worth was a better hit and run guy, but he's not. So we'll see if Rollins can try to get a lead. He can. No pickoff, no balk. And it's a 5. Between 4 and 6 are his good numbers. You add the 2 blue dice. So in that case, he gets the good lead. So he'll have a 1 to 17, which is an 85% chance of success. And he is in there. And actually, the throw is not so great. Carlin, because it's a 1 to 3 on this roll, we check Carlin's throwing error rating. His throwing error rating is a 12. So we re-roll 1 to 12, and Rollins gets to take another bag on a throwing error. And it's a 9, so he will. So he will make his way all the way to third base on a throwing error by the catcher. So the Padres, they're going to move the infield in here. They will try to cut off Rollins at the plate. That'd be a ground ball B. Here's Jason Worth. And against a righty, that's a 5-10. That's going to be catcher X. So Carlin is a 3E1. So a 3, we roll the D to 20. 3 and 16 is a foul out. So this would be a good productive out for, if you recall, 5% chance. He needs a 1. Can he get a 1? And actually, if it is a 1, then it would actually be a roll of the robber. So 1 or 2 would be a robbing roll. It's going to be a 12, so it's going to be the sac fly to right field, and in to score will be Rollins, and that will be the first run of the game, 1-0 Phillies. Those are fly ball Bs on the, that's the result of the negative result of the ballpark roll. So Ryan Howard with 2 outs. And against a lefty, 4-9, and he is going to crack one down the line, and it's going to go into the corner for a double. He will just hold up there at second. And so, now with 2 outs and a runner at second, Pat Burrell at the plate. That's a 5-5 against a righty. And that's a ground ball to third, and that will end the inning as Kuzminoff throws to first. And 1 run for the Phillies, though. On 1 hit, an error on Carlin helped score that run, but the Phillies will head to the bottom of the first ahead. Hamels taking the mound. Here's the lineup for the Padres that will be facing him. Let me move it up here a little bit. Scott Hairston, your center fielder, if you are a Padres fan. Brian Giles in right. Kevin Kuzminoff at third. Adrian Gonzalez, great fielding first baseman. He'll bat fourth. Then Chase Headley in left. Edgar Gonzalez at second base. Luis Rodriguez at short. Again, not George Carlin, Luke Carlin behind the plate, and Chowson Beck. So Scott Hairston leading off here for the Padres against the lefty Hamels. We got to look from this side of the card. Against a righty, 5 fly ball down the right field line over to get it. Jason Worth, plenty of time, makes the catch. Brian Giles. Wow, another 5-5. That is a strikeout. So let's shake these dice up some more. Kevin Kuzminoff. 2 outs, nobody on. There's a 5-9 against a righty, and that is trouble. 1-8, normal home run. Kuzminoff, normal power against the lefty, but it's going to stay in the park. That'll be a double. So a 2-out double for the Padres. Kuzminoff flirts with a home run, but can't quite lift it out of the park, and it'll be Adrian Gonzalez with 2 outs. Hamels will go lefty-lefty here and try to attack him, get him out. So here is Gonzalez with 2 outs. And a 3-4 will be grounded to Utley. Utley, with plenty of time, makes the throw to first for the out, and they strand the runner at second. So both teams have stranded the runner at second through 1. 1-0 Phillies. So I hope everybody is doing well. Finally overcame the rain here. We've had about 3 days of it, it seemed like. Pretty dismal here on the East Coast, but maybe things are looking a little bit up. Maybe not up temperature-wise. I think it's supposed to drop a little bit, but if we can get rid of that rain, that'll make me happy. So Victorino will lead it off here in the second. We're looking off the right side of the card, top of the innings. 2-9, and that's the one chance in that major amount of bold that has normal type. That's a grounder to Edgar Gonzalez, and he will make the play for out number 1. The Dobber, Greg Dobbs. And that's going to be a single with a 1-er chance at a triple. So it's an 18. Sorry, it went way off the page, but that is a single for Dobbs. With his running, we won't try to get him a lead unless there are 2 outs. Although we could say, hey there, Al. We could say that the Padres are playing off him, which would then make it a 1-15. I think we will. Let's see if he gets a lead with 1 out. Padres are not holding him on. Need a 6, gets a 4, so no chance to steal there. Well, he could steal, but it'd be a 1-6 chance. So Carlos Ruiz. And a 2 means we check for balk or passed ball. That'll be passed ball. Carlin a 1-4 with his passed ball rating. 13, so no passed ball there. With Dobbs at first, 1 out. 3-7, and he's going to work a walk there, so it's going to bring up Hamels with a chance to move the runner along, or runners along. First and second, 1 away. Hamels a B bunter, so they're going to expect it. Makes it a C. I always play that way, unless it's someone that I just don't think they would expect to be bunting. So, C bunter. C9, that may be a 1 and 2, and it is. So with 1 ball and 2 strikes, they're still playing with the corners in here, thinking that he's going to bunt. We're going to let him swing away now. 2-4, and that's a mistake. So he grounds into the double play. That'll end the inning. So a 5-4-3. That would have been, with a C4, that would have been a speed roll. would have had a chance to get him to first and would have loaded the bases. Instead, the manager blows it, and that is going to be a 0 on the board there in the top of the second. Hey, Mike, how you feeling, bud? All right, so Phillies know that their manager rained them out of the inning by not having Hamels lay down another bunt. So here is Headley batting from the right side. That's a 1-9 single chance. Otherwise, it'll be a liner to third on the 4-9. And it's a 6. That's going to get in just past the diving Greg Dobbs, and that'll be a single. So Headley, we're going to say the Phillies aren't holding him on. Here's a chance for him to maybe steal. Need a 4 and gets a 7, so no. Hamels 0, Ruiz -1, so that would be a 1-5. He's going to stay put. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Mike. Keep getting better. I mean, I'm glad you're getting better every day, but I'm sorry that you're still weak. Hopefully that little by little gets, adds up and you're getting back to feeling like yourself again. Here's Gonzalez with Headley at first. Edgar Gonzalez. That is a 2-10, and that's going to be a single. So back-to-back singles, and to left field, and Headley not the best runner. They're going to have him hold up with nobody out. So first and second, no outs. Luis Rodriguez. We're going to have Rodriguez lay down a bunt. So we're going to call this an A because not necessarily expecting it here, thinking maybe he would swing away with a good 3 columns. And a 6, that's a defense check. So Phillies could go after Headley. It is to 6, which is the third baseman. Dobbs is a 4. That's an influencing factor. So for defense, I believe you subtract 4 from the runner, and then you add back the third baseman. So the third baseman is Dobbs, which is 4. So they basically cancel each other out. So it would be a 1-11 chance. So a little better than 50%. But if you mess it up, it's bases loaded, nobody out. They're going to take the sacrifice. It'll be 5-4. Everybody moves up a bag. And so next will be Luke Carlin, catcher. Now, granted, well, he's not so bad against lefties here. So, I'll say not so bad. He's not very good against lefties either, but here's Luke Carlin. He's batting from the right-hand side. Runner at third. Runner at second and third. Nobody. 1 out. That's a 3 on the D20. I'm not sure you can see that. 1-4. That's a grounder to second A. The Phillies were playing back, so the runner at, let me see, second and third, infield back, ground ball A. That's a 5. Runners advance a base. So it'll be a 4-3 RBI for Carlin. And with 2 outs, it'll bring up Chow Sung Beck, who is a pretty good hitter in his own right. So runner still at third. Oh boy, could be a balk check. No, Hamels does not balk, so 6-9 against a righty hitter. That's a strikeout. So Hamels gets the better of him there, but he does give up the tying run. I don't know if Chris Strat Delaware is around, but he was trying to encourage I don't know. I'm not sure. I think he may be playing a little bit of devil's advocate there when it came to my rant about Petco Park. So I decided to use some of his feedback, which is small ball, and I decided to small ball it there and got the Padres a run. So anyway, here's J-Roll. Going to lead off the third. There's a 3-11. That's going to be a pop-up, which is going to be caught by Rodriguez for the out. Jason Worth. And that's a strikeout. 2 down. Chase Utley. Uh, 3-7. That's going to be a double chance, but it's only a 1-2. That's an 8, so that'll be a fly ball to center, and Beck puts them down 1-2-3. So through 2.5, it's tied at 1. Well, Mike, yeah, I'm glad your spirit's high. Just keep it up there. I know that we'd love to be of help. It's tough to do from far away, but hopefully we can keep just encouraging you here when we do a video, and you know, we're appreciate having you look in here when you have a chance. I don't know how easy it is for you to do that when you're recovering, but we're here for you when we can be here. Here's Hairston, bottom of the 3rd. And that's going to be a grounder to Rollins. No, that's a grounder right back to the pitcher. Sorry, we're going from the left side here against Hamels, and that'll be out number 1. Brian Giles against a lefty. 4-7. Oh, he's going to get a single out of this unless it's a 20. So Giles on. Giles, not a great runner. We're going to... Well, let's see. They're not going to hold him on, so they... Let's see. They're going to try a little small ball here. See if Giles can get a lead. Needs a 4. Doesn't get it, so he's going to hold on there. It'll be Kuzminoff. Full replay. So Mike's doing a full replay of the 86 season with Atba Master. So that's a project to do when you have some time trying to stay focused on staying positive. That's a ballpark single chance. Needs a 1. It'll be a line out otherwise. And it's a 9. So that's a line out to short for out number 2. So now Giles... Oh, lefty Adrian Gonzalez, and so Giles not being held on. It's a 1-4 chance. Not going to send him here. It's going to be Gonzalez with 2 outs. Against the lefty, 4-3, a grounder to 3rd. Well, here's a chance. Dobbs, a 4, E13. And it's a 2, so that's going to be a single. It's going to be 1st and 3rd. Unless there's an error. Now there's a 10. Let's see. The E13 and 10. No error. But that'll be a single. And that's going to make 1st and 3rd. And it'll bring up Chase Headley. Gonzalez not a steal threat here. So Headley with 2 outs from the right-hand side against the lefty. 4-8, that's a single to center, and that's going to score a run. So, nickel and diamond him, and Gonzalez will hold up at 2nd. That'll bring up Edgar Gonzalez. He singled in the 2nd, and 2 on and 2 out for the Padres. And a 1-7 is a strikeout, so that will end the inning, but they do pick up a singlet. 2-1 lead for the Pods going into the 4th. All right. Mr. Howard. Got to do the right side here. Top of the 4th. Down by a run. Against the lefty, that's a grounder to 3rd. Kuzminoff, a 4, E12. 4 and a 7. I think he will get to that. Just barely gets his glove on. He gets up. Slow runner. Makes the play. That'll be out number 1. Let me double check. 10 on a 12. I think it is. Yes, sir. Pat Burrell. 2-6 would be great. And there's a 5-8 against a righty. And that's a fly ball to center field, and that will be caught. So Hairston gets that. Out number 2. The Flying Hawaiian, Shane Victorino. And another 4-4 against a lefty hitter. That's going to be another grounder to Kuzminov. He's going to get to that. And a 7, he'll make the play. And that'll be it. 1, 2, 3 again. He's set down 7 in a row. And we'll go to the bottom of the 4th with score 2-1 Padres. Luis Rodriguez moved the runners over. Has not recorded an at bat yet. Bottom of the 4th, leading off against a righty of 5-8. So a switch hitter righty. 5-8. 1-3 triple. And it's a 4. That'll be a fly ball to left. And the Phillies dodge a bullet on that one. So with 1 out, Luke Carlin, switch hitting catcher. Against, that's a 4-7. That's going to be a strikeout against a righty. So that's 2 outs. And now back the pitcher. Oh, we don't need to roll that. Nobody on base. 2 outs, 6-7 against a righty. That's going to be a grounder to second X. Utley 2, E14, a 2, and a 19. He gets to it. And a 14. That means you make the play. Saw those 2 6s, and you need a 16, 17, or 18 with an E14. Or wait, no, 15, 16, or 18. And it's a 14, so we lucked out there. I saw the 2 6s. I'm like, man, that's a recipe for disaster, but that roll came up. Oakley Dokley. It'll be Greg Dobbs here, top of the 5th. Phillies got to start putting something together, else they're going to lose this series. Greg Dobbs. And it's going to be a grounder right back to back. And that'll be out number 1. 2-6. Yep. Chooch. Carlos Ruiz. 5-11 against a righty. That's a ballpark home run. Now, Ruiz is weak, so he's going to have a 1-4 chance at a single here. But no 4 there. It's going to be a fly ball to left field, and it'll be caught by Headley for out number 2. And now the pitcher spot. Hamels, the lefty, 2-4. That'll be the same roll that he got in his first at bat. And so that's now 10 in a row for Beck, throwing good stuff here so far. So Cole Hamels, 3rd time through the lineup here. See if he can keep this together or if he's going to start getting a little juiced here. 5-7 against a righty. Fly ball to center. That'll be caught. So 1 out. Brian Giles. Looking from the left side of the hitter's card here. 6-8 against a lefty. That's a ballpark home run. Need a 1 for that. And again, this goes to the robbing check if he does get a 1. It's a 17, so that will be caught by Worth for out number 2. Actually, 1 or 2 brings up the robbing check. So Kuzminov now. Hey, Mark Russell. Kuzminov against a righty. 4-6 is a strikeout, and Hamels 1-2-3s him. He's sat down 7 in a row. So through 5, it is the Padres on top, 2-1. Little reset of the action here. The Phillies took a 1-0 lead in the first after Rollins, with his leadoff walk, was able to translate that into third base on a stolen base throwing error combo. Then after a foul out, Chase Utley drove him home with a sac fly. So that's the only run for the Phillies. Padres responded at the bottom of the 2nd. Chase Headley got on with a single. Then he was moved to 2nd on Edgar Gonzalez's single. They were both moved along by Rodriguez on the bunt. And then Phillies played with the infield back, and an RBI ground out for Carlin scored Headley. And then they took the lead as Giles singled. followed by Adrian Gonzalez got a single, make it first and third with 2 outs, and then Headley followed up with a single of his own. So that's where we stand. We're into the 6th. Chawson Beck still pitching pretty well here, the right-hander. He's going to face Jimmy Rollins, third time through the lineup. And a 2-11 is a grounder to third, and Kuzmanov throws to first, and he beats the speedy Rollins for out number 1. Jason Worth. He is 0 for 2 so far, and that is a 2-5, and he will draw a walk. Now, the pitching-catching combo is a break-even, so Worth is going to try to steal. Actually, what we're going to do is we're not going to do hit and run. We're going to have him try to steal. Needs a 7. They are holding him on. Gets a 9, so that's a 12 minus 2, so a 1 to 10 chance. We're going to let Utley see if he can get a hit. So, Utley 5-9 against a lefty. That is trouble for Beck. 5-9, 1 to 11 normal home run. Otherwise, it's a triple. Does this one have enough? It's way back, and it is going to stay in, but that'll score the tying run as Utley gets a triple. Worth comes all the way around, and that ties it up at 2. And that brings up the ever-dangerous Ryan Howard. With Utley, they will play with the infield in. That's a 3-11. 3-11 against a righty is a walk, so that's going to make it first and third for Pat Burrell. And Beck is a 6-inning reliever, and guess what? He just reached his point of weakness. The Padres will start getting some guys warming here. Let's see, Hampson, Alkenberg, Hoffman, and Adams all pitched last game. They're going to get Clay Hensley warming up. Also Will Ledesma. So Pat the Bat with 1 away and runners at first and third. They're going to play with the infield back, hoping for 2 with the slow runner. .68 against a righty. It's a fly ball to right field, but it's shallow. In comes Giles, and Giles makes the catch, and he gets it in real quick. Utley cannot make the move, and it's going to be Victorino now with runners at first and third. 1 run across, the tying run. It's 2-2, and Victorino with a chance maybe to drive in another here. 2 outs against Beck. Against a lefty, 4-3, a grounder back to Beck. He's 3-E26. An error would score a run. Let's see if what a 3 does here. 3-10, he'll get to it with 2 outs. Will he be able to make the play on the E26? 26-9. (26-9). 26-9. That is a 1 base error. So that's going to be an E1. And guess what? The Phillies will get that go-ahead run as Beck kind of boots it. And so now it's going to be first and second. The Padres will now make their move to the pen against Dobbs. It'll be Ledesma. So 2 on and 2 out, first and second. It's going to be Ledesma. So the Phillies could make a move here. They will, actually. It's a little early for that, but they're going to go ahead and bring in Eric Bruntlett to hit. A little better range at third as well. So with the lefty on the mound, it's going to be Bruntlett against Ledesma with 2 on and 2 out. Looking from the left-handed side. That's a 6-7 against a righty. That's a walk. That will load the bases. So that's going to bring up Carlos Ruiz. And the Padres will... no, they're going to leave Ledesma in here. Bases loaded, 2 outs against Ruiz. 5 against a righty. Grounder to second, X. 4E10 for Gonzalez. They're playing the infield back. 4 and 13, he gets to it, correct? Yes, he'll get to it. Now, the question is E10 and 12, he will make the play, and that will end the inning. So they get 2 runs. Costly Air got the go-ahead run. So it's 3-2 Phillies. I'll put Hensley back in the bullpen. They will bring him up just in case they need him. But we'll take a short respite here. Hi, John S. Thanks. What's the yellow roll before the pitch? So AJ Mizrak. Great question. So we'll take a short break here in the bottom of the 6th while I'm setting up to mention. So in Super Advanced, when there's a runner on base, you must roll the D20. And what the D20 does is it gives you it basically gets any of your base running or pitching, catching, whatever flaws, let's say. Anything that would advance a runner when a runner's on base. So mostly what's going on right before the play is if you were to roll a 1, you check for a wild pitch. You would check off the pitcher's card for their wild pitch rating, which is, in Cole Hamels' case, is a 0. So he has no chance at a wild pitch off of this roll. Now, the 2 initiates a second a roll of the D6s. 1 through 3, when you roll the D6, means you check the balk rating of the pitcher. In this case, Hamels is 0. A lot of pitchers are 0, which means they can't commit a balk, which would move the runner. Now, if it's 4 through 6, it's a passed ball. The way I notated on my scorecard here is I use like this fraction. So the top number is their rating for throwing errors. The bottom number is the rating for passed balls. So you re-roll. So for the wild pitch, for the balk, and for the passed ball, you would then re-roll the D20 using the number that is here as the high range. So in this case, if it were a passed ball, you'd re-roll the D20. If it's a 1 to 2, passed ball occurs. If it's 3 or above, you just continue with rolling the rest. I used to roll them all together, and what I decided was when I'd roll all of these together at the same time, I would have a 1 or a 2 come up, and I'd see what the roll was of the D6s, and I'd say to myself, man, that sucks. And Tribe Fan isn't here at the moment, I don't think. You know, him and I don't know which of us found it. It might have been me, might have been him, but it was called, somebody had called it along the way, the Havoc die. And that's where, like, the Havoc comes in. But if you don't ever roll these D6s until you've decided what happens on the, you know, the passed ball, the wild pitch, the balk kind of stuff, there really feels like no havoc to it at all. Now, there's one other roll that happens here when you have a runner on base. If you want to initiate the checking of whether a runner gets a good lead or not, you would roll this ahead of that too, and that has a 1 and a 2 associated with it. The 1 it means that the pitcher has a chance to pick the runner off at first, and so let's take a runner that's, so let's say Jimmy Rollins here. His numbers here. So you roll the D20. If it's a 1, then if you roll the D20 again, you get a 1 to 14. He slides back in safely. If it's 15 to 20, he's picked off, and that's an out. Okay. A 2 is also a balk roll. So on the 2, you would then check the pitcher's balk. In either of those cases, the runner cannot get a good lead. So if you get a 3 or above on that first D20 roll, then you roll the D6s, you add the 2 colored dice together, and if it's in this range here, he gets a good lead. Now, Rollins cannot get cannot get thrown out automatically. But you see this little hyphen here? It represents a number which I believe in, who is it, Giles' case. You see he's got a 4 and a 12. If they add up to 4, he gets a good lead, and you go with the 13 number. If he doesn't, if he rolls a 12, he actually gets thrown out. He automatically steals, and he is automatically thrown out. So there's an element of risk to that. So I hope this answers some questions. It's kind of tough to do this in the middle of a game, but it's fun to have someone new who is interested. So, hey, it's great. Let's get back to the game. Bottom of the 6th. It is 3-2 Phillies. They've found their way back into the lead. But some dangerous guys coming up here. Adrian Gonzalez is a guy you don't want to mess around with, even for a left-handed pitcher. So here we go. 2-11, and Hamels not only messes around with him, he just plain old plunks him. So that's a hit by pitch. Now Gonzalez, as you can see, you're welcome, AJ. No steal rating. He is basically going to stay there at first and not move until it is, he's not going to try and do anything steal-wise. So Headley, we could try. You don't want to bunt with Headley, but if you were going to play small ball, you might try that. 4-11 against a righty. That's going to be, so the ground ball, third base A on the 4-11. That is a double play ball. So that's going to be a 5-4-3. And so that's why you might want to try some alternative strategies. Now 11 on the bunt roll is going to be bad for most guys. That's going to be, that might be the batter misses pitch, and we already know what. Wait, why am I moving these? So there's 2 outs. Sorry, I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but you know that Gonzalez gets thrown out on that anyway. So Edgar Gonzalez, with 2 outs and nobody on, we don't need to roll that. 1-9, that's a grounder right back to Hamels, and so Hamels holds on to that lead through the 6th. So that's a good setup here for the Phillies going into the later innings. And let's see. Hamels at the plate. They will keep Ledesma in here for now. Lefty, and the Phillies have lefties coming up later with Utley and Howard, so they might as well leave Ledesma in. So, and Hamels is a lefty. So top of the 7th, 2-7, and that's a strikeout. And Jimmy Rollins, again, we're going to look off the left-handed side of the card here. 5-11 against a righty. That is a grounder to first base. X. So we check Adrian Gonzalez. He's a great first baseman. 1-E6. 1 and a 2. He's still going to make it. Nobody on base. Even there, he is able to make the play unless he makes an error. And I don't think a 13 on the E6 is. Oh, wait. Uh-oh. I'm wrong. E6 13 is a problem. So he's a great first baseman, but he makes an E3. So the second error on the Padres here, and it's going to give Rollins a chance to steal. So let's see if he can get a lead. 4, 5, or 6, he gets a good lead. 10, no way. So, but Ledesma, not good at holding runners with 1 out. We're definitely going to go on this. That's the most you can add or subtract using the pitcher-catcher number is 5. So Ledesma's +9. Carlin's number +1 doesn't really factor in. You're going to add 5. So that's going to mean they're holding Rollins on. You subtract 4 and then add 5. It's going to be a 1-15 roll with 1 out. They're willing to give that a... Oh, and he gets thrown out. So caught stealing on the 17. So Rollins thrown out on the base paths. Jason Worth now with 2 outs. 3-5, that's going to be a single. So if Rollins had gotten to second, that would have been a the anti-clutch roll. In fact, there's a horseshoe there, but with nobody on, Worth still gets on. We'll try to get him a lead as well. See if he can steal a bag. Needs a 7, gets a 3, so no. And they're holding him on, so that means that it's going to be a 1-13. not going to take the bat out of Utley's hand, though. Let's roll it off here, see if Utley can maybe do some damage here. 2-7, that's a walk. It's going to get worth the second. And they're going to, Padres are going to get Hensley back up in the pen going. First and second, 2 outs. Again, another lefty, Ryan Howard at the plate. And Ledesma, he is a 3-inning reliever, so he is not in any danger of being tired. 2-6, a walk, and that's going to be it for Ledesma. So he loads the bases, and Hensley's going to come in with a little bit of work to do. So, pitching change. Now I kind of wonder if we should have chosen a different pitcher, but they will use Hensley here. Just from the standpoint, I'm not sure Hensley is the best option in this case, but I'm not sure that the Padres would be using their highest leverage guy here anyway with a 1-run deficit. So bases loaded, 2 outs. Against Pat the Bat, and there's a 2. So a chance at a balk. Well, Hensley doesn't have a balk, so 1-3 would mean we just go back to the way it is. Now that is a 5, so a chance at a passed ball here. Carlin 1-4. It's a 12, so no passed ball. So roll it again. 3-12. Oh boy. Well, against the righty, this is a 1-5 single. I'll bring it up here so you can see. 3-12, 1-5 single, 6-20 line out. Will the inning extend or will it be over? Will Rodriguez get to grab it here? It's a 15. That is going to be a liner. That'll end the inning. So no runs. They get the bases loaded and strand them. And we will go to the bottom of the 7th. So it's the stretch time. Hensley gets the job done barely. Almost gets by him, but gets by the shortstop. But speaking of the shortstop, he'll lead off the bottom of the 7th here. Hamill's now in his inning of weakness. That means 3 hits, 3 walks, or a combination of 3 of those 2 things would make him tired. So here is Rodriguez leading off, and that's a single. So 3-7. Phillies will start getting some action in the bullpen. They're going to get Rudy Cianez warming up. And so it'll be Luke Carlin. And Luke's going to bunt. He's a D bunter, not great, but he's going to go ahead and not a very good hitter either. He's going to try and lay it down. And 10, and that's going to not be any good there. That's going to be bad. It's going to get the lead runner. So with a 3, that's going to be pitcher. That's going to be a 1-6 as Rollins covering. It'll be a fielder's choice, so that doesn't go so well. The Padres will go to their bench. And they're going to have... They'll have Tadahito Iguchi pinch hit here for Hensley. And the Phillies will... They're going to leave Hamels in. No. Against a righty 6-7, this could be a double play if Utley can do it right here. So Iguchi, let's see, who is on base? That's Carlin. He doesn't have a... so they aren't holding him on. So Utley is 2E14, 2 and 16. That will be a double play ball if he can avoid an error. And he does. So 4-6-3. that is it for the 7th inning. Hamels makes it through there. They will sit Cianez back down. They're going to get Scott Iyer warming up. And the Phillies, well, the Padres are going to have to bring in another reliever. This time they're going to bring in Heath Bell. Are they? Or are we going to give them someone else? Let's, yeah, they'll go with Heath Bell here in the 8th. So Bell, sorry, I haven't been paying much attention to these high Beatles. I haven't. Yeah, it's true, AJ. It's a little different than some other games like the History Maker stuff. You have to kind of like look through the book a lot. This is right on the cards. So again, let's set this up here. 3-2 Phillies, top of the 8th. Heath Bell in to try to face Victorino, Dobbs, or no, not Dobbs. It's Bruntlett. And Bruntlett is playing third base. I forgot to mark that down, but he is in there. We haven't had any third base checks since the 7th. So it will be Victorino against Bell. Against the righty, 1-9. That's a grounder to Edgar Gonzalez, and that will be out number 1. Bruntlett in the game. And we got a leaner. I'm going to re-roll this guy. So 3-6. That's a grounder to short, and that'll be out number 2. Gonzalez makes the easy, or no, Rodriguez makes the easy play. Carlos Ruiz. 2-8 and a fly ball that Hairston has in his sights, and closes the glove on it, and we will go to the bottom of the 8th. The Phillies will let's see. They will stick with Hamels here. Hamels has not reached his point of weakness. They have Iyer going in the bullpen just in case Hamels gets into trouble. Hairston 0 for 3 so far. See if Hamels can get him out again. 3-7, and there's trouble. I mean, maybe we should have taken him out sooner, but we were going to bring in Iyer anyway. It's a 3-7 off a lefty. That's a 1-3 triple, 4-20 double. And it's a 3. That is going to be, oh, wait. Yeah, that's a leadoff triple. Sorry, I'm in the wrong section. So now the Phillies are going to move the infield in, and it'll be Hamels staying in here against Giles for now. Infield in, trying to cut off the run at home. Against the lefty, 4-8, and guess what? That is a single. That ties it up. And the Phillies are going to make the move to the bullpen. And they're going to get Cianez in. They had him up before, and they got him up for a minute here, and now we're going to bring him in against the right-handed Kuzminoff. So much for that. Could be a long game here. The way that the runs come, well, I don't know. I don't want to jinx anything here. So Cianez against Kuzminoff with a runner at first. Giles doesn't run much, so it's a pitcher in the 8th. Maybe should have gone to Cianez earlier. Giles at first and Kuzminoff, and the potential passed ball 1-2. That's a 13. So against a righty, 5-6. That's a fly ball to left. Catching that is Burrell, 1 out. Now Adrian Gonzalez. They're going to go right back to the bullpen and bring in Iyer. So Cianez faces 1 batter, and now Iyer with Giles still at first. It'll be Adrian Gonzalez at the plate. 5-11 against a lefty, And that's not such a great roll. It's not. It could be worse, but it's a grounder to first, and Howard's not a great fielder. 4E20. They're not holding Giles on. Maybe with them not holding him on, we would have sent Giles by now, but I don't know. So that's an 18 for Howard on the 4. So that is a G1. That's a double play ball. If Howard on his E20 can avoid the error. And a 7. First base, 20, a 6, and a 10. No error. So that's going to be a 3-6-1 twin killing, and that will get them out of the inning. So they do give up the tying run, but we're going to go to the 9th with Iyer getting the double play ball to get them out of that inning. The Padres are going to go back to their bullpen. They're going to bring in their closer, Hoffman, to pitch the 9th, since they can't get a save from the 9th inning on anyway. So a tie ball game. And it's going to be the pitcher spot up for the Phillies. Again, we may see an extra inning game here. We'll have to see. But the Phillies don't have a lot of options off the bench. But against Hoffman, they will start with Jeff Jenkins. Of course, they have Lidge available to close it out here if they can somehow snag a lead. All right, so Jeff Jenkins leading off, top of the 9th. 3-3 is your score. Against the lefty, 4-8, a 1-11 single. So a chance here, maybe to sneak a hit off of Hoffman. But it's a 14. That's going to be a liner caught by Gonzalez, and that'll be out number 1. So rough catch there for little bit of a bad beat there. So here's Rollins, 5'9", batting from the left, and that is long, and that is gone. J-Roll takes it out of here, and that is going to be the 4-3 lead the Phillies need. They're going to get Brad Lidge warming up, and that is gone. Out of here. That's it. So Hoffman serves up a tater, and J-Roll is good for that one. He has not hit a whole lot of home runs this year, so the Phillies will take that. So 1 out and 1 in. Phillies retake the lead. Jason Worth now at the plate, and he will draw a walk. So now Hoffman's struggling just a little bit. And the Phillies will try to move Worth along here by giving him the steal sign. Hoffman pretty good at, well, he's average at holding the run around. Let's see if we can get a good lead. It's a 10, so no. So, yeah, Carlin +1. But they're holding Worth on, so yeah, we're not going with that. So Worth at first, Utley at the plate. Lidge warming up in the pen, looking to close this out, and here is Utley. 5-12, that's going to be a grounder to third. Can Kuzminov turn 2? He's a 4E12. 4 and 7. They're playing with the infield back. So 4 and 7. That is a G3. Their only play is going to be at first now. The E12 and a 14. And he is able to get the throw there to first for the out. 5-3. Runner advances. So Worth is in scoring position, and Ryan Howard comes to the plate, trying to extend this lead with 2 outs. And you know what? Boy. They're going to walk him intentionally. So it'll be Pat Burrell. We're going to re-roll the D20. They decided late to intentionally walk Howard. So 2 on and 2 outs. wants to face the right-hander. Oh boy, well, potential wild pitch, but Hoffman doesn't throw him. Wild pitch 0. So Burrell, there are ways to get wild pitches off of the catcher roll, but here we go. 1-5, and he strikes him out. So that play worked out. 1-5 for Howard. Potential double. Probably wouldn't get it. 1-3, but in any regard, we're going to go to the bottom of the ninth. The Phillies pick up the go-ahead run on Jimmy Rollins. Long ball. Takes it out of Petco Park, and it's not going to be Iyer. It's going to be Brad Lidge trying to get his save. Hasn't been as automatic as he was in real life. Let's see if he can do it here. So Lidge in. Jenkins pinched hit. Pinched hit. That's not it. Pinch. Oh boy, that's he hit in a pinch. How about that? They're going to leave him in right field. Worth is going to move to left. Burrell's going to come out, and that's where Lidge will go. So that's where we will pick it up here with Chase Headley facing Lidge. Headley, a switch hitter. Lidge's trouble spot is lefties on that 4 column. So here is Headley. 312, and that is a ballpark home run chance. He's batting from the left. Only a 1 will get it for him. And again, we go to the robbing roll. If we do that, 1 or 2 gets a robbing roll, and it's an 8, so that is going to be an out. Caught on the track by Jeff Jenkins just in the game. So 1 out, a long, loud out. Edgar Gonzalez, well, the Padres are going to go to their bench, and they're going to pinch hit with Jody Garrett. Bring in the lefty Garrett. Got some power there, a little bit of pop. 1-6, a 1-13 single. Come on, high roll. 1-4. How about 14-20? And it's a 12. That will be a single. So Garrett, they will not hold him on, so he's automatically going to be able to take second here. If he can roll, let's see, Lidge is +5. So he's going to be basically 1-19 here. We'll roll it off, and it's a 17. We'll call it a stolen base. He did throw, but didn't really give much of a effort behind it. So Luis Rodriguez with the tying run at second. 1 out. Switch hitter. .59 against a lefty. That's a strikeout. So out number 2, and it's going to be Luke Carlin, switch hitter. And so you got a choice here. You either go with Luke Carlin's ugly hitting number and you get the left-handed side of Lidge, or you go to Hundley, who's a righty, so you get Lidge's right-handed side, but you get a little bit better full column here, or most of a column. They're going to pinch hit with Hundley. So we'll see if Hundley can do something here. 2 outs. Runner on second. 4-7 against a righty. That's a walk. 4-7 against a lefty is a single and could score a run there. So with Garrett in, he's good speed, so it might be might not have panned out so well that they used. So they've got another left-handed bat, Brian Myro. He's going to come in and pinch hit for the pitcher. So it'll be first and second with 2 outs, and it will be Myro. The other move they have is Sean Kazmar, a right-handed hitter. So getting a little tense here for Lidge. First and second, 2 outs. Lefty Myro against Lidge. And of course it gets that. Going to re-roll the white die. 5-4. Against the lefty, that's a grounder to third. It's going to be Bruntlet. Bruntlet is a 3E. I didn't write it down. 3E13, I think it is. No, 3E22. 3 and an 18, he gets that. So can the 22, can he beat the air? 12, E22. E22 and 12. Oh, it's an error. It's going to load the bases. E5. Oh, my word. We've got some drama here. Lidge still has, since he is, we go from this rating here for this, he is, he can get 6 outs before he gets tired, but it's going to be, let's see, what happened to Scott Hairston here? Somewhere I didn't bring out a Gucci's card. There we go. So Hairston now, bases loaded, infield back, just looking for an out here. Right-handed Hairston against Lidge. Can Lidge save this? 1-5, and he strikes him out, and that is the ball game. Whew. 4-3 is your final. Tense moments at Petco Park. Brad Lidge takes it to the limit. But fortunately, Randy Meisner's lyrics didn't prevent them from getting the victory. Took it to the limit one more time, and, you know, all alone at the end of the evening. Sometimes you know, the bright lights are fading to... The bright lights are fading to blue, maybe? I don't know, I can't remember. Yeah, it is blue because I was thinking about a woman who might have loved me, but I never knew. Yeah, anyway. All right. Well, Beatles is like he's starting to sing. I'm skedaddling. Yeah, that's okay. So the Phillies with the victory run the record to 66-58. That evens the Padres at 62. Phillies move to within, I believe that's I'm trying to think. 4 games, I think. I think Atlanta's within a game now, or maybe a game and a half. So your win, they get that run in the 9th. So that's going to be Iyer who gets the victory for the Phils. The loss, they say you shouldn't use your closer in a non-save situation, and there is Hoffman for you. Save Lidge. Gets this one. So there's D. Scott Howard. Hello. I'm going to walk back through the comments here a little bit so I can say hello to anybody who is still around. Tall, cool woman in a black dress. Yeah, I think Beatles is leaving because I'm destroying a song that he probably once loved in Take It to the Limit by the Eagles. Well, it's not the Eagles, it's Eagles. There's no the in it, but yeah, he, I don't blame him in the least. I should not sing. I guess the only reason I was singing is that I was trying to find the lyric. But it's also probably kind of late for him over there on the other side of the pond. So, yeah, thanks for watching, all of you good guys out there in Atba, Payoff Pitch, History Maker Baseball, History Maker Golf, second season. Throw some more names out there, you name it. Inside Pitch. Al and ID Jester have the computer games locked down. You know, you're out of the parks and stuff like that. Maybe Strat PC. So, you know, out there in that land, I guess I never did get to that final modifier there, noun, to say all of that land, but that's where you guys are, and we appreciate the support we get here. I know that I didn't look much at the comments, but it was great to see. Thank you, Michael. It was great to see. I'm not sure I've seen Michael's name in the chat here, But welcome. Appreciate having new viewers. AJ, I'm not sure I have seen him in the comments before, and I appreciate you. And I guess John S. I might have before, but and John is a name that I think has come through my email before, but it could have been a different John. So if you're a new John, that's great too. But I appreciate the feedback. This replay has had its moments. um, I've been thinking about saying that I was going to take some of the games that I was going to play offline and maybe try to put some of them onto the people who are patrons through Patreon. Maybe trying because and with the caveat that if you are subscribed as a Patreon member of our channel, that if I put those games up there, that you understand that you know, the caveat emptor, which is let the buyer beware. You know, if I get a little agitated by a game, but I'm not. I don't think I'm going to do that. I want to put games on here. If I'm going to play a game, that I don't want to make them kind of segregated for one versus the other. The channel is pretty much open, I feel like, and I don't want to make people feel like they have to do anything. If it's basically been if you can afford it, but we would like to give the people who are. I mean, it's a toss up. I also want to give people something give something back, you know, and we do do a giveaway with it, but let's see. We're at 72 minutes, so this was a longer game. We did have some pitching changes. We did have some strategy stuff. Did run the Padres out of an inning, maybe, did I? Or maybe it was the Phillies. I guess it was probably the Phillies. We got Rollins caught stealing. So, we also had Carlin bunting, and I think he might have bunted into a force, which it's, you know, I looked at his card. I think it was a pop-up, so it really made no difference when it came right down to the scoring. But, you know, you can always second-guess these games. And sometimes it matters, sometimes it doesn't. And I think in this case it probably didn't, but it was a good game. We got some runs. That's a fun thing. We got a home run. That was Jimmy Rollins' big home run. But that's going to be it here for tonight. I would assume Al is going to have... so Al, Red Sox fan, is the channel. I would assume he's got something going on. I would assume RNGIDP does as well a little later. He's been doing games pretty regularly now. Good stuff there. He's got... So if you're unfamiliar with his league is a complete... almost like a complete fantasy draft in a way. He basically just mixed up all of the rosters. It's not a fantasy draft because he didn't really draft them. He just randomly put them on teams. And it's created some interesting matchups there. So definitely check out his channel. Obviously the demos, baseball demos, obviously the Stratomatic Delaware. Espo has a video up where he talks about some of his stuff here the last month or two. Espo, just hang in there, bud. Looking forward to seeing you at... I mean, I'm not going to be there, but I'm looking forward to seeing what you put together at opening day. So, Strat opening day is, I believe, Friday. So, anybody going up there to Glen Head, have a great time. I'll probably do a game on here before then. Got stuff going on tomorrow, Thursday, but hopefully Wednesday night I'll roll a game for you all. But, you know, check out the various channels around, and just, you know, we appreciate all of you. I wish I had a list of the newer channels. I know there's like a Cards and Dice Baseball might be the name of it. I should write these things down because I get some amnesia once I get on here. But there are a lot of channels out there putting out quality content. So just if you're looking for stuff to watch, you don't have cable, this is your lifeblood, is like watching kind of replayed games from yesteryear on the tabletop. or on the computer. They're out there. Have a look. So anyway, good night, everybody. Good victory here for the Phils. Come through in the ninth. Jimmy Rollins, the hero. And that is it from Petco. Signing off. Tenacious Earl for Tabletop Earl. Thanks for watching Tabletop Baseball Plus. Until next time, enjoy your tabletop sports and God bless.